should I, shouldn't I? We're not at that point thinking, what will the President of the United States think if I express my uniqueness? What will the Pope think? Although some people will do that, my goodness me, why I don't know, but they do. Or what will the Governor of the Bank of England or the head of the Federal Reserve think? No, no. What's making us resist expressing our uniqueness is our fear of what our mother will think. Oh my God, what will my mother say? What will the guys down the bar say, or the people at work? In other words, the people's reaction that keeps us in those norms are the people who are already in there. So the sheep have also become the sheepdog. The police have also become the police. The inmates of the prison are also the prison warders. Now this combination, I repeat because it is so important, this combination means that whoever sets the norms in society runs the world. If, and the big, big if we concede our uniqueness to it and insist that everyone else does the same. And then when the norms are set, different aspects of the herd are played off against each other. So religions have been created, and we'll get into that because it's remarkable how the religions which frighten each other and conflict with each other actually come down to the same people. Same story too when you look into it. So they play different aspects of the herd off against each other. Religion is played off against religion. Political party is played against political party. Economic theory against economic theory. And so we've set the norms that have created the herd, and then the herd is set at war with itself. And while we're cussing each other and fighting each other and blaming each other, the few people are string pulling all these different elements and creating the key element that's necessary for the few to control the many, divide and rule.
Infected with the AIDS virus. They yanked it from the market in America, and then they dumped it in markets overseas.
They had to figure out a way, Joe, to make a profit on a product that they could not sell in America. So they made a huge profit. They dropped the product in Japan, Spain, and France.
Each year in the U.S., thousands of women learn they have cervical cancer. I could be one less.
One less statistic. One less.
Because now there's Gardasil, the only vaccine that may help protect you from the 4 types of human papillomavirus that may cause 70% of cervical cancer.
I want to be one less woman who will battle cervical cancer. One less.
Like all vaccines, Gardasil may not fully protect everyone. The side effects include pain, swelling, itching and redness at the injection site, fever, nausea, or dizziness.
Gardasil is not for women who are pregnant.
Gardasil does not prevent all types of cervical cancer, so it is important to continue with routine cervical cancer screening.
Gardasil will not treat cervical cancer.
Ask your doctor about getting vaccinated with the only cervical cancer vaccine, Gardasil.
Gardasil.
Gardasil. Gardasil.
With Gardasil, you could be one less.
E-L-E-S-S. I want to be one less. One less. O-A-E-L-E-S-S.
Collapsed after being given the cervical cancer vaccine Gardasil. Health authorities are urging parents to stay calm, insisting the drug, which is being offered to students in WA, is safe.
Brooke Levi thought the Gardasil shot she had on Friday at Engadine High was going to protect her. But now she blames the cervical cancer vaccine for a bad reaction.
I want to pass out and just throw up and just go to sleep.
Brooke ended up at Sutherland Hospital. 2 weeks ago, Melbourne student Natasha D'Souza also felt unwell after being vaccinated.
I actually wasn't looking too good, and I was looking a bit green in the face. And then I just basically collapsed about 5 minutes into class.
Natasha says her arms and legs were paralysed and she couldn't speak. She wasn't the only girl to have the jab, then fall sick.
Yeah, there were girls dropping like flies, basically.
Medical authorities have declared the reactions aren't linked to Gardasil. They've blamed fear of needles.
The after effects are very, very rarely serious, and the benefits of the vaccination are very, very important.
There's no reason to stop the vaccination program. The vaccines have been thoroughly tested both in Australia and overseas, and have been found to be extraordinarily safe.
70,000 Gardasil vaccinations have been administered since the drug's approval last year. Full protection against the virus that causes cervical cancer requires follow-up shots, but many girls aren't keen to chance it.
I don't want to after going through this.
Damien Smith, 7 News.
Coming up in 7 News, a warning to diabetics about the deadly side effects of a popular medication.
All of the money from the health industry goes into the medical monopoly and the drug trust. Interestingly enough, the Rockefellers control every major drug company in the world. And now when I say control, I mean directly. They have, among the directors and officials of each of the 18 largest drug companies in the world, they have men from Chase Manhattan Bank, from the Exxon oil company, and so forth. So they're right there. The names, I have all their names in my book, Murder by Injection.
So it's a terrible problem, terrible problem. And if people are not willing to go holistic and really have a holistic background, you could be jumping from the frying pan into the fire when you try to approach quote-unquote professionals that give you help. Well, you might be going to the most psychotic people that ever lived, the very people who have caused you to be the way you are through their whole media manipulation and their whole infrastructure of society. Like, that goes back to the question of who is sane, what is sanity? Is there anybody sane in this world? The more you start to look at it, the more you start to realize, no, you're not. You're in some sort of, hideous Planet of the Apes type experiment here. And man is a terribly, terribly disassociated and fragmented individual.
People come to me all the time asking me to medicate them. The implication behind that was that human beings, like all other animals, have a particular ideal model. It had a machine-like quality to it. We know what the model should be. And they ask the medications, they ask of me to give them medications that would push them back to this particular model they have. An unrealistic model, but a very static model of man as machine.
What was happening was that large parts of normal human experience, grief, disappointment, loneliness, were all being reclassified as medical disorders. In the process, a new system of management was emerging. The drugs took away those complex and difficult feelings and made the individuals happier. But they also made them simpler beings, more easy to predict and manage, and closer to the machine-like creatures at the heart of the economic models.
By using checklists of symptoms about emotions, you have gone out and confused normal human responses to life with mental disorder, and therefore created an illusion of a vast epidemic. A medicalized illusion. And obviously a situation where you medicalize is a situation where your focus will not be on social change, it will be on controlling individuals to fit in properly. That's the subtle and overall danger here, that it could serve our kind of social economic systems needs in a way in which we become more efficient but less human.
La perspectiva de que 2/3 de la población del mundo no tendrá acceso a agua potable para el 2025 ha provocado los primeros enfrentamientos en una batalla global por el control del recurso más básico del planeta. Cuando los bolivianos intentaron refinanciar los servicios de agua pública de su tercera ciudad más grande, el Banco Mundial le exigió que fuera privatizada. Por ello es por lo que la corporación Bechtel de San Francisco tiene ahora el